What's up, guys? Welcome back to Waku Radio. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video and tell us what you want to see. Yeah, so we got a pretty awesome guest today, and I got my motherfucking co-host Seabass in the motherfucking house. What's up, y'all?
Yo, what's up? I'm your co-host. Welcome to Waku Radio, and our guest today is the one and only Jeremy Lin.
That's so good.
Just kidding, it's my cousin, Bryan Kim.
Bryan Jin Kim.
Yes, sir. What's going on? Happy to be here.
Yeah, dude. Happy New Year's, man.
New Year's, yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a basketball trainer by trade for a living.
Nice.
So that's something I've been doing for a long time. I've been playing basketball since I was like 5.5 years old.
Damn.
So yeah, it was kind of like, for me, I actually never planned to be a basketball trainer. You know, the kid, that was not my dream or anything like that. My dream was like, oh, I want to go to the league or things like that. But once I finished up, you know, playing competitively, playing college, doing all that, I thought I was going to go into physical therapy for school.
Oh, nice.
For my doctorate. But I ended up taking a few kids from actually the church that I grew up in.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I just started training a few of them. And one of the dads actually was like, who's a good mentor to my to this day. To me. He was like, yo, you're not just really good at this, you seem really passionate about it. He was like, you should take it seriously. This was about like 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. He was like, you should like take it seriously. So I just up and went and got a business license. And for me, it was more like, all right, doors keep opening and I'll just keep walking through them. And pretty much it just blew up. And then ever since then, I've been doing it, like I said, about 8 years. That's including the pandemic. So like 2.5 years, you know, I got that little taken away. So
damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I'm a basketball trainer, but like I'm also like an entrepreneur.
So did you play basketball in high school and then you got like accepted into like a college?
For me, so I have a pretty like I guess you can say unique, a little different story. For me, my high school senior year, I actually broke my ankle like a week before senior season.
Oh shit.
And I was the star player. Yeah. My team lost every game but one. Literally, it was like supposed to be like the glory year, and it ended up being a nightmare. Yeah. And ever since then, I actually had to go to junior college.
Okay.
So for 2 years, I actually went to junior college. I went to Compton College. I played basketball there for 2 years.
Okay.
After high school. And then I transferred to Cal State Northridge, CSUN. And from there, I was trying to play, get a walk-on position. And from there, I tore my meniscus. And
damn.
yeah, so it was like my whole story and my whole like basketball career has just been plagued with injuries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, like I said, I never planned to be a basketball trainer, but the way things happened, and it just, I feel like I never reached like the success that I wanted as a player,
right?
But I feel like as a trainer, like all the success is really coming this way. So I feel like maybe this was like my path, and this was like I had to go through all the injuries to understand what players are going through. I really know what it takes. I really understand,
right?
And I always got injured at every level, so that really taught me when I look back in hindsight, like I realized that's what helped me to become a basketball trainer, because I really understood like what it took to get better, to, you know what I mean? All those things. So.
No, that's what's up, man.
And right now, you pretty much went from training, you know, kids and stuff from the beginning, and now you're actually training professionals, right?
Exactly. Like this past summer was the first summer where I strictly had nothing but professionals, pros overseas. I had a guy signed to the league in the NBA. I'm pretty much around some amazing trainers as well that I built relationship with. And one of them I became really good friends with. So he's working with one of the top guys in the NBA. So it was just like this past summer especially was just, it was amazing. It was a big blessing. It was like after the pandemic, it was really dead for me. Like prior to the pandemic for 5 years, I went crazy. Like each year in business, I would double. I would go crazy. And right before the pandemic, I had my biggest camp I was about to start, which was I had a camp with someone named Metal World Peace. I don't know if some people, you guys know him, but he's a good friend of mine, and we were supposed to have a camp. I also had so many big plans, and like a lot of other people in the world, like they all got shut down by the pandemic, you know?
Damn, yeah, that shit was rough.
Yeah, so like ever since the pandemic, I never really built the business back up, because like you said, I was training like youth, high school, everybody. And then since the pandemic, I was kind of just limbo. And then this past summer, it just blew up, and it was just like, yeah, it was unreal. It was awesome.
Nice, dude. That's what's up. So wait, so in this industry, you know, is there a lot of Asian coaches that are in like this like NBA industry? Because I mean, just in sports in general, not really, unless it's like soccer, right?
Right, of course.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Soccer is like worldwide, so
yeah. So I mean, as you see the basketball world in the NBA, like the majority, you know, is like not Asian, obviously, right?
Right.
So I mean, I've met and I've networked people that like are in the industry, but obviously there's like, we're more of like the, you know.
Yeah. So like growing up, like Cause like I played a lot of ball too growing up, but my biggest thing was like my height, right? So like I could ball motherfuckers up, but it was always like trying to get to like tryouts and shit, and they'd just be like, nah, dude, you can't, because you're just gonna get smacked all over the place with these fucking 6 feet guys. And I'm just like, nah, dude, I'll just fucking dribble around them and lay that bitch up, right? But it was always like something that hindered me, right? So like, but also being Asian too.
That's
you know
what
what I mean?
was gonna say, just about to say.
So like, how was that like, just, you know, going to the league like that? And I mean, I don't know how far you got, but like just being Asian, was that difficult, especially in Compton?
Was like almost something like where people like at first glance will like almost doubt you a little bit. Like, wait, who's this guy?
Like underestimate?
Yeah, underestimate, like underdog type stuff. Like, yeah.
That's the story of my life. Like I really like had that quote unquote that chip on my shoulder. Like, oh, you guys should have seen through my lens when I walked into that gym at Compton the first day, and I was like, hey, is coach, you know, here? And people looked at me like, you in the wrong place. And I remember that trial specifically. Like, this is like story of my life. Everywhere I'll go, I had to prove myself. So I always had that like that chip. And I remember even at that tryout, I went crazy in that, and then everyone like lost their mind. And it's just kind of like that story of my life right there.
No, seriously. Yeah, I get that, dude. It's one of those things where you're just like a fucking, you stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Like I think about it. If you really think about it, we all kind of broke something in the industry where we stuck out like a sore thumb.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you in the dance world, like getting in there, like how many Asian
stripping
dudes,
world? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How many Asian dudes are male strippers?
Dude,
you know what I mean?
In my whole career of when I was being a stripper or still a stripper, there's only one other Asian dude that I know of, and he got fired for doing some shady shit because he couldn't make money.
Oh shit.
That's what I heard. If it's true or not, I don't know. But as of right now, I'm the only Asian stripper in Vegas because Hustler's is the only male strip club open. And even like what he was saying when I first walked in, everyone was like kind of like, "What's this Asian boy gonna do?
Right?
Like, how is he gonna?" Because we're not, you know, I mean, you know, we're not on the top of the fucking totem pole for sex.
The sexually attractive.
Yeah, attractiveness. So it's like they're like, he's not gonna make it long.
Right.
What's he gonna do? And the next thing you know, four almost 5 years later, still in it.
No, yeah. So that's why like when I vibe with you on that, because I'm like, dude, like I know how hard it is to break into like a world that doesn't really understand your color of your skin, right?
Yes.
So like I get all my black people out there too, you know what I mean? It's a battle, but as being Asians, we don't hear enough stories about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand. Like, for me, I feel like my whole life, I kind of been around that community and kind of cultured in that. Yeah. So it was a lot more normal to me.
Right.
But yeah, I can see, especially looking from the outside, inside, people are like, you know, the way they look at us.
And it's like when you walk into this place, you almost have like something to prove now. You're like, oh, doubt me? All right, let's see.
Yeah, but it's also like, I think it also makes it a little bit easier because they're already doubting you.
True. So they don't have like type of expectation.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, they don't know what the fuck they're up against, right? Like they're not going to expect this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
and then you fucking just come out and know, and you're like, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah, straight up.
Dude, one of my favorite memories with Bryan Jin Kim. I remember I was younger and we're at the park. It was me and my other cousin, and we're just sitting at the park, and he's like, "Oh, you want to watch me play ball?" We're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. We have nothing else to do, right?" So he's balling up, and they're going up and down the court. He gets the ball, and the whole team just stops. Like everyone, even the opposing team, just stops. Like they're not even gonna try to like go after him. But there's one new guy in the court, and he was trying to go after him. And dude, this guy tries to jump up, and I just remember him just what is it, Michael Jordan his ass, like fucking crotch to face, and just dunks that shit. And everyone's like, oh.
You never showed up to that part ever again, the guy.
Dude, so you earned your respect in the fucking court.
For sure. Like I lived and breathed basketball since I was a kid. Like that was my only dream. That was like everything I did in high school. Like I went to like one or two parties in high school, even in college too. Yeah. I literally lived in a gym. So for me, it was like, I don't know, it's
super focused.
Yeah, that was like everything to me. And so
what drew you to basketball?
You know what?
Like out of all the sports or all the things you could have done, you know, while you're younger, what drew you to basketball specifically?
I think well, my parents, because my mom was like a stay-at-home mom, she put me in like every sport you could think of. I played every single instrument you could think of. Yeah. But it's like, I think for me, it was natural where like I excelled the most at basketball. Like I remember in middle school, I took all my teams undefeated. It was just natural, right? And then like, so especially I think it was like 8th grade year where I was like, all right, man, I'm pretty good. I was like in like winning championships and just seeing success. So I was like, you know what? Like I want to be the best I can possibly be. And at that time, like I grew up really like shy, and I wasn't really developed as a person. So like literally the only like all I had was the basketball and lived in the gym. So it kind of just it was kind of organic. It was natural. Just me just living in the gym, just
Do you feel like, because you're from Cali, right?
Yep, LA.
So do you feel
South
like
Bay.
do you feel like that had like an impact on it too? Because I feel like growing up in Cali, like in SoCal especially, I feel like you grew up like knowing that the Lakers, because you saw the branding everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And then it was just one of those things where if you hung out with like the Hispanics, you know you were gonna be like a fucking an Angels fan or some shit, you know what I mean, or a Dodgers fans. But then, you know, because I was more drawn towards basketball, it was one of those things where I was like, I just like basketball, bro. You ever think that like had like an effect on you at all?
Yeah, for me, like I like grew up on. I didn't really see Jordan play too much. I wasn't like super engaged in the game, especially like watching the NBA.
Right.
I really got engaged like when the Lakers, like Shaq and Kobe era.
Yeah.
That's when I really fell in love with like Los Angeles basketball. So it's like rooted in me. But
that was like the best of Lakers.
oh man, it was epic. The Robert Horry day game winners, Kobe game winners. It's just like it was awesome time in LA. You know.
What's your thoughts about the Lakers now?
Oh man.
Yeah, tough.
You know, I'm like born and raised Laker fan, you know. And I'm actually I'm a pretty big LeBron fan since day one. Like I used to read about him when he was in high school and all that kind of stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, like even I think it was the end of his middle school year when I first heard about him. So, you know, in terms of like this season, yeah, it'll be tough. It's gonna be tough for us to even make the playoffs. So at this point, LeBron, it's like the LeBron show. LeBron is an AD, obviously. Anthony Davis is just sucks because he's like top, he's elite player in the league and he's just constantly injured. So LeBron is out here just looking to break the record, create the scoring record, title, and have that. And so that's all I'm excited to watch. I just watched LeBron go off, but it still hurts just to watch the Lakers kind of lose. And I've been going to a bunch of games this season too. I think they lost every single one I was there.
Yeah,
like, sub one maybe.
I went to one of the scrimmage games and dude got torn up.
Was it Clippers?
No, it was the Wolves.
Oh yeah, I was there at that game.
Were you there?
Yes,
Oh,
I took a picture. I took a picture that day was the day I got tickets for free and I went there and I was like stayed after and I was on like near the court. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. That. So could you tell us about like any of the like professional players that you coach or anything like that? Are you able to talk about that?
I mean, what does this say about them? I mean, I feel like that's a pretty tight subject because like there's respect and that relationship is like
no, just like you know, in a positive light. Like who are you training, dog? Like I want to know. Yeah,
like this summer there was a guy who so I met one of the top agents in the world this summer, and I was training like at UCLA the whole summer, and he came in and I met him, and he basically referred me a player. His name is Chima Moneke. His name is Chima Moneke. He played in Spain in the first league there, and he was MVP.
Oh shit!
And so he referred me to him to work him out this summer. So he came and he checked out the workout. He liked it. He wanted to rock with me. So we worked out this summer, and pretty much he got signed to the Kings. Like they wasn't planned for them to get drafted, but he got signed by the Kings because he played for the national Nigerian team.
Oh shit!
And he played with that year is when they actually beat USA in like exhibition, I believe. But the coach there his name was Mike Brown, who's actually the coach for the Sacramento Kings. So with that relationship too, so I believe they have a good relationship and whatnot. And he's a great player, obviously. So he got signed to the team.
Oh shit!
And so now he's I believe he's a two-way. Well, he is a two-way player. So he goes back and forth from the Kings to the G League team. Yeah,
damn.
He's developing because they're actually the Kings. You guys know about the Sacramento Kings. Like every year, they're just like they're horrible, right?
Right.
I think they're number one. They were at least for a minute number one in offense. They're like one of the top in the West. They're like, so I'm like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, from like 1 year, a different coach.
Yeah.
Add a few players.
Yeah.
And
there's so many factors to like having a good fucking sports team though.
Oh, especially at the pro level. Oh,
yeah. It's so many factors. Like it could be like you have one super fucking star that everybody has to like eat his dust. Like LeBron, right? I mean, nothing against AD, but like LeBron is a big fucking name. Like he disrupts all of sports, you know, like especially NBA. So like when you put a player like that and then all the other players like aren't as good or they're not, you know, whatever it is, it's kind of like leaves them in the dust, right?
It's tough to play in LA in general, but especially play next to LeBron. It's hard. Like, I don't know if you follow basketball or you kind of follow the trend of like what LeBron needs or they so called they need. What he needs is like shooters around, they say. And so, yeah, like there's guys that are like Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, all these guys who once they left the Lakers, they're doing amazing. Right. And it's not just a LeBron effect, but it's like LA, you know, LA limelight. It's like,
you think that's a factor to it?
Oh yeah, there's so many championships involved. There's it's rich history, and it's like every time they like LeBron said, it's like he took so much pride in wearing the purple and gold, especially after Kobe, and so there's definitely that type of like there's pressure. There's,
that makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, how many banners? What is it like? I forgot how many banners we have, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, so
us and like Celtics.
Yeah, it's so fucking crazy, dude. But I'm just saying, like, there's other factors too. Like, it could be a fucking coach, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, I think the Raiders just recently replaced one of their coaches.
Oh, did they?
Or something like that. Yeah, it was. I don't know what it was. I don't really follow too much in the football, but I know they did much better when they switched coaches.
Yeah.
Or the head coach or whatever, right? So, is there like anything that you specialize in, like when you're coaching? Like, is there like something that you like? I don't know, like your specifics, like when you find like something that you constantly focus on when you like have a player on your like in your training?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the type of player you have and what level. For example, like for me, it's like I'm like a skill development specialist. So like it really goes down to like the details, like the footwork, the small little details that most people are not going to look at or overlook or whatnot, right? So like for me, I like especially like when I told you when I first started the business, like with I think about 2-3 years into it, that's when the first time I got exposure to the NBA world. And I remember because I met this trainer, his name was Alex Bazell, and he's like respectively like one of the top trainers in the world. And that summer was Trey Young's pre-draft, and just through chance I got blessed and met him, and I was able to just kind of I was right next to like a over Trey Young. He was like going to be the third pick, second pick, and I got to experience like watching NBA trainer, and there are NBA trainers for a reason, right? And I really found that out firsthand that year, because just the attention to detail and just the way he organized his workouts and like the sharpness and just how he went about it really blew my mind. It really did, because like you go from like being a basketball player, and then I mean you kind of train other people how you kind of learned. And then for me, like I knew how to get players better, and then you go around literally one of the best in the world, who he's one of the best because like he's training Trey Young, like he's Kyrie Irving's training, like he's big time, right? He's
that's big time.
So and there's a reason why he's there training. It's not by chance, I promise you that. But it really, for me, being around guys that are like to that level and elite, it really changed the game for me.
I think that kind of goes like hand in hand with like all sports though, right? When it comes down to like the finest details. Like, dude, like you would never think about it. And then like when we started dancing in high school, like Sebastian and I, right? Just like break dancing and doing hip hop shit, like little fucking footwork details changes fucking everything, dude.
How wide you have your stance, just little stuff, right?
Yeah, dude. It's so crazy how much shit it changes though.
I mean, even like in powerlifting too, like you're slightly off by an inch, or you're fucking not tight enough. That shit feels like fucking a tank. But then you fucking get the right form, just move your foot over or left just like an inch, that thing just flies right up.
It's
fucking crazy. Yeah But like unless you're like into it and you're like specifically training for it, you won't catch those little things,
like that's why a trainer is so important to have, like because like as an athlete or whatever you are, you know what I mean, like if you have the input from another person, it makes it so much more valuable, like because how could you know if you're making a mistake unless someone calls that shit out? That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I've always heard like, they say to be like successful in something, like one of the best ways to do that is find the best mentor you can find, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think everything kind of falls under that rather than just trying to, for me, I think as a trainer, like in any field, like one of the top things you need in any field, especially as a basketball trainer, is like, it's passion. And another big thing is just the ability to build relationships and, be a genuine person and connect with people. And I think that's a huge valuable thing. And
that's for sure.
Yeah, especially in like a field of like, if you're gonna train like professional players, it's so much. It's I don't know. It's a lot. You know what I mean? It goes deep.
What's your most greatest accomplishment so far in your career?
In my career, what can I say? I mean, getting an actual player that's in the league, that's a pretty big accomplishment. You know what I mean? That's something that like, once you do that, it kind of changes the game for you. You know what I mean? And so
now you're going to get recognition, right?
There's more recognition there. There's, you know what I mean? I guess it brings a little more value to whatever you're doing and a little more like legitimacy, right? So, yeah, I mean.
So how far are you trying to take what you're going with?
I mean.
Like you want to be like, straight up with just NBA players and stuff like that and training them, or
Right, because there's like, there's like a freelance trainer, I guess you can say, who like, for example, me, like I'm not with the NBA team, right? I think at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the goal is to coach in the NBA and like as an assistant, for example. Like I have somebody I know that's somebody I look up to. He's a mentor of mine. He coaches in the NBA as well as assistant. So he's someone that I would love to follow the footsteps in. And yeah, so that's always the goal for me. Like, yeah, I'm a trainer and I have my clientele and whatnot, but I also coach at a university, so I'm assistant coach there. Nice. Because like you want to constantly be around players, you want to continue work on your craft, and also, I mean, you got to have a resume too. You can't just get to the league. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
So for me, it's.
Do you get down as far as like going down to like even high school players just to like catch the talent early?
I mean, there's like. Trainers do seek out players and they go up to them and whatnot and try to network and build relationships, and that's all fine and dandy. For me, I think just being around basketball for so long, I'm around like the basketball community is pretty small. Yeah. So like I feel like if I know somebody and they have a player, they'll just refer them and things like that.
Oh, I see.
And like for example, I know just young players. Right? I have a young player I knew since he was like, I remember he was at daycare. Now he's like a senior. I think he just became a 4-star, but he's getting like just being around, just knowing him since he was young and just kind of like being around, and I can kind of train him and help him on his little journey.
So what do you mean by like 4-star? Do you guys have like a ranking?
Yeah, like there's like, if you're like the top high school players, they're like 5-star players, right?
Yeah. So what is that like based off of though?
It's tough. Like a lot of players, for example, that are 5-stars have been like elite or like really elite levels since they were a young age. And then they get the limelight at a young age and they keep that going over the years. And so like there's a ranking system where, obviously it fluctuates.
Is it like based off of points? Is it based off of like taking like...
I think it's statistics as well as your team success, whatnot, and then it's also like, especially nowadays, it's like getting that social media, just being out there, like,
So that does play a role now, huh? Because it does contribute for money and supporter.
Especially with the NIL deals now, like kids are making crazy money, and even high school. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really
making money off basketball in high school.
Hell yeah,
they just passed. They passed that now. They passed that where it's like now everybody going crazy,
bro. Dude. I mean, if that fucking kid, Ryan's toy reviews making millions, you know what I mean? Like, and it's the digital age for kids. Like we grew up like on that weird spectrum of like we had to play outside. And then we had a Game Boy. Yeah. But then eventually we got a computer and a cell phone.
And then the technology started coming up while we were like doing things already, but it wasn't like great quality or anything like that.
Yeah. Now all kids know is like iPad, phone, TikTok, YouTube. You know what I mean? So it's like, of course, like they're going to want to do some shit. So that makes sense that it does play a huge factor now too.
Yeah, for sure.
That's dope though for the kids, man. Like, freaking, especially like if they're talented and shit like that, like get the exposure and stuff.
Could you imagine if we had that when we were young?
Dude, I was just thinking that. Fuck.
Oh my God.
Man, I can't even imagine.
But that shit would be wild.
Dude,
like you can be like training for a contract while in high school.
Yeah.
Like trying to get the recognition. Like kids are making millions. Like some of the like top kids, like in high school, making millions. Like they have like rapper chains. And like it's crazy, man.
Imagine if we had that ability to just be global like that. Man. Like, dude, I would be like I would probably be sponsored for fucking racing, bro. Like I thought
for real with all the street racing and shit.
Dude, like
the game's completely changed now.
Dude, it's crazy.
I think our levels would have been like on a different level too.
Yeah,
because like you get now, like
I think
you get
you'd be so much more ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Because you see all the exposure and stuff, and what your competition is doing.
Yeah.
Like compared to back then, it's like who? Then you have to look them up. But now like things just pop up on your feed if you're just watching shit like that, and you're like, who's this person? Damn, they're hella good, or stuff like that.
Yeah, I was talking to my kid, right, and my kid like has some cousins and uncles and shit that are in the street racing scene, and he like really loves cars, right? So. He was saying that like one of his uncles actually gets paid to go to car meets now. And I'm like, what? Like, cause he's sponsored.
Yeah.
So like part of his contract is to go to like car meets and promote that brand. So then they pay him and it's based off of his followings and shit like that. And then he has like a promotion card that like if he networks, he passes it out. If they use his card, then he earns more money for it. What are some like successful keys that you can just leave like some of the upcoming players? You know what I mean? Like what are some tips, tricks, or what should they be doing?
For sure, finding that a mentor or trainer, mentor/trainer, that's super important these days.
True.
Players are getting better at a earlier stages in their life because they have like
Social media.
well, social media too, but they have access to these trainers. Now, back in my day, like I used to watch like Allen Iverson VHS turn on and then go to the park and work on that for hours, right?
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like, man, I always tell my players, like all my young players I come across, I'm like, I wish I had me when I was your guys' age. Like it would be a wrap. Like I would have been so much better, so much faster. So like, of course, having that mentorship, having somebody that can guide you, right? Mentally and physically, like all in the court and off the court is really important. I don't think a lot of people understand that a lot of these really successful basketball players, like a lot of the ones that I've come across were like really at the top tier. They're amazing human beings. They're not just elite athletes, they're like elite humans, really. And they're great people. They're just raised right. And, you know, I feel like a lot of players can, you know, they fall into that, you know, I can just train and there's so much ego involved in basketball, right? And pride. So it's like, that's necessary, but at the same time, it's like, you have to be humble and you got to like approach the game a certain way. And so.
Do you guys have a lot of like, still like street athletes coming? Like, you know, from the projects, like rougher parts of the world. Do you guys still have a lot of that? Because I feel like now there's so much talent everywhere to where like almost sometimes when it's like, it's easier to get to that world if you're connected or you know somebody, right?
Yeah.
So is that, I know there's probably that case where you do have like a really talented athlete that comes from a rougher part, but do you see that a lot still? Or is it kind of like?
I mean, I feel like it does happen, especially with social media nowadays. Like you could be at a small school and suddenly you make a crazy highlight and you're going to be global. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a little different. I feel like it can happen. Back in the day, it was like coaches would try to like recruit players, go to different games, and it still happens. You know what I mean? But it's a little bit of both.
You know what's kind of crazy to think about? Like with this younger generation, with all the mentoring and like exposure they got to like, you know, tutorials and shit like that. Dude, how crazy they're gonna change the game like in the future, you know, once they start hitting like that professional leagues or whatever like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'll be watching some videos of kids b-boying, you know, breakdancing.
Dude, they're sick.
They be doing air flares, head spins, like shit that professional people would do back in my day. You know, back in my day, they'll be like professional level, like crews doing this shit. Now they're like 8 years old doing it. Yeah. So I'm just thinking like, and then the moves that these professionals are doing, like expanding, but then like these kids are doing it now. Yeah. So when they get to that age where they're
so for like farther ahead,
dude, like the tricks, or even like for basketball, like the fucking, you know, the technique they're gonna have, the skills they're gonna have is gonna just outblow everyone just because the tutorials and everything's out there.
It's just crazy. I mean, you know, we like, it's like us, like we have our technical like advances too.
Yeah,
you know?
But for us, it was a lot of it like trial and error. You know, like we didn't have as detailed or clear
what I'm saying
videos.
Is like
you know?
compared to like, I'm saying like compared to like our parents. You know what I mean? Like we're so much further than they are. You know,
no, that's true too. Yeah,
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I would say one other thing that I would add to that for players' advice would be like there's this TED talk that I seen a while back, and it talks about I forgot who it talks about or who it's on, but they talk about how they did a lot of study on like thousands of like millionaires, super successful people, and there's all these different traits that people like, you know, that have come to surface, and they're trying to kind of prioritize, see which one's the most important that like all these super successful people have, and it come to find out it's grit, which is like, and I can really like, I feel that because for me, the one thing I never did was just like, I never quit. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you have that grit to really just keep pushing through, because it's a tough sport. If you want to be good, you got to spend a lot of hours in gym and you got to be consistent, right? So a lot of times they say when you're really going to hit that success, it's when the hardest and you really want to quit. So when you feel like you're going to quit, you just got to push a little bit harder, and that's when the magic really can happen. So just, you know, one thing that I never, like Compton, for example, like it was one of the hardest like times of my basketball career, being there as you could probably, like, you know,
I can imagine.
You can imagine, right? But I got in fights like almost every day in practice. Coach didn't care. Like it was just making us tougher. Like if you call fouls in practice, you'll get cussed out and thrown out of practice. That's the kind of like environment I came at. That's what made me so tough. After that, I was
it made you
beast mode. Yeah. And then like, so it's like I almost quit like numerous times, but the fact that I didn't, right? Like I'm grateful that I didn't, because if I quit, I wouldn't be here like in this position today. You know
that's true. Yeah. I mean, that's such a like a life like lesson for everything. You know what I mean? That really applies to everything. Like if you are trying to be successful in any industry, in anything you want to do, it's if you fucking quit, bro, that's it. That's it, bro. Like I try to tell people this shit all the time. Like failure is not failure until you fucking quit. Once you quit, it's complete failure. You have to admit it though. Like, you know what I mean? Like quitting, that's the last step of fucking failure, right?
It's kind of like Kobe Bryant's philosophy that I've seen so many countless videos of Kobe Bryant. He's obviously one of them really amazing individual, but
Mamba mentality.
Mamba mentality. There's so many great things that Kobe, like everything he was about, Mamba mentality, right? When it comes back, I'll bring it up. So this is what Kobe said. This is one of his philosophies. He said, Kobe sees failure as just another option. And so if failure is just another option, then now you just know how not to do it, and you gotta try it a different way, right?
Yeah.
And that always stuck with me. Like I said, a lot of things Kobe quoted and was big time, but that was one of the ones I remember.
Yeah, it's just consistency. I mean, if you really have passion for it and stuff like that, you're just gonna keep doing it,
Yeah.
It's like nothing's gonna come to you easily. And if it does, well, it was a fluke maybe.
Hey, do you want to play a game?
Sure.
All right, cool. I'm just going to ask you like a couple of questions and then we'll just go from there, okay? So do you want to go top deck, middle deck, bottom deck?
Let's go middle.
Middle. All right, cool. Okay, this one's pretty good. How long would you wait for someone you're dating to commit to you?
How long would I wait?
Like if she was like, I don't know, if you're talking to some chick and you're like, dude, like.
Oh, to be my actual girlfriend.
Yeah. Like,
just like a girlfriend commitment, right?
Yeah.
Never really thought about that. Never really put a time span on it. But like, if I'm seeing somebody for like over like 2-3 months, like I would expect. I wouldn't expect, but I'll be like, hey, like, what's going on here? I guess it really depends on my interest in them. How?
Yeah, but you're dating them, so like in your eyes, you see them long term. Like you want to get with them, and then, but they're not trying to get down, like lock it down with you just yet.
Yeah, like you would kind of be like sus a little bit if like a girl didn't want to like jump into a relationship, right?
Especially if my gut is telling me something and she's doing some other side shit.
Like she being a hoe, like why the fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I've been in those experiences where it's like, am I in my head or I'm like, but these are legitimate like things, or like maybe my gut's telling me my intuition. And so it really depends on the circumstance. But like, yeah, if I really wanted to be with somebody and I really gave them my energy and time like that, man, I would say, yeah, like just to be like respectful, maybe like 2-3 months at most. Yeah.
And then you're like if we ain't going nowhere, that's it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to waste my energy and time on that.
So let's go back to this. Are you like currently in a relationship right now? What is that like? Like being around like a whole most playboys, right? So what is that like? Like just live it, or is that something that you don't really care about because you're really just focused on the coaching part?
Yeah, for me, like I'm really more focused on like I can go and party, like I can go and have fun. I've had a lot of fun in my life, so it's like I'm less concerned about that. But I mean, being around that type of crowd, I mean, a lot of stuff does come with it. So if I really wanted to go out, like want to go get balled or something, it could be like, like that, right? And so like at times, like there is a lot of, opportunity and temptation out there, you could say, to get into that. But for me, especially like now, I've been like really locked in and focused on myself.
Right.
Like this past year has been really like a self-growth, self-development and self-love type of year.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, yeah, my mindset is just not really even on a relationship right now. Like I'm trying to build like generational wealth, right? I'm really understanding how important energy is, and even the words that we speak, they're more powerful than like that we've been taught that they want us to know, right?
Yeah, that's so true.
Energy is like, for me, especially now, I'm just that much more like it's more sacred to me. So I don't just like put my energy out to like other things because I'm like super locked in right now, and there's only one thing I'm going after. You know what I mean? It's that success. It's that, whatever that looks like to you, right? But for me, it's just like,
yeah, fuck the bitches.
Yeah,
make the money.
Okay, what about you then? How long would you wait for someone you're dating to commit to you, dog?
I wouldn't commit to her until she commits to me.
I know, but like how long? Like what if she's just out there being a hoeski?
Then I'm keeping up what I'm doing,
So you would still just be fucking around with her until she finally chills out, or you find another chick?
I would probably. I mean, if she's like on her whole phase.
No, I'm just saying, like, if she's just like, you haven't gotten to the point where you're like, is this like chick just like we just fucking, or what?
I mean, I look at it. I just look at it that way until they ask, like, what are we? Type shit.
God, that's such a fuckboy answer. Like, Like nobody wants to build like relationship and like success.
I mean, I want to, but at the same time, like a lot of these hoes aren't just their shit.
that's because
you
you're
know,
fucking with the wrong girls, dog.
and that's why you ain't locked in.
Well, I get that part, but at the same time,
Until I find a chick that's not like that, then you know.
dude, it's by association though. Like,
Shit.
it's just where you
Dude,
go.
bro, it's just the industry I'm in. I think, you know. I mean,
No,
I already.
but that's not even.
I'm
true.
gonna
You could
have
go to
that.
the grocery store. And
Yeah,
you
but-
could run into some chick and be like, "Yo, this girl is fucking dope." Like, or you go to the gym and
Yeah,
be
but
like,
all the girls have their guards up so fucking high up right now. It's ridiculous. We talked about this.
Yeah, we did talk about
You know, like it's not like where it used to be before. Like you'd be like, "Hey, how's it doing?" You know, they're like, "Oh, who the fuck are you? Why are you talking to me? Are you misogynist?" And blah. Like, bitch, I'm asking where the fucking melons are at. You know.
I think he's still pretty young.
You know, it's like I mean, even like at the club we were talking about, like their guards are so up. Like you're coming to a strip club, what do you expect us to do?
That's true.
Talk to you, yes, and like we're like, hey, how's it going? You want to dance? Who the fuck are you? Don't touch me. I'm like, what?
like, dude, you're here, and my job is to seduce.
Yeah, and I noticed it wasn't like this until like after COVID, or even like pretty much like starting after COVID, it started getting like more like
Yeah.
guarded up. You know?
Yeah, dude. Like the other day, I was with
Yeah.
my girl, and then we were checking out some schools and shit, right? Because she wants to go do some beauty school shit. So I was like, you know what? Because she's pretty shy, so I'm usually like the one trying to conduct everything. Anyway, so we came out of the fucking thing, and then there was like two chicks sitting on the side, and I saw that they had scrubs on. I was like, oh, they have to go here, right? So I was like, hey, yo, like, excuse me, right? Like, hey, I just got a couple questions. These bitches like waved me off, and I was like, I'm not trying to spit game at you. Like, you obviously see me with another fucking girl, right? But I'm just trying to ask you something. I was like, hey, look, me and my girl, we just had some questions, and then they were like really rubbing me off.
It's just wild, you know?
Like, what is wrong with these women?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like
Just I don't know. It's not genuine. I feel like they're just.
I don't know. It's just I don't know if it's like the social media or something like that. You know,
Like, they just think they're entitled.
like they think everyone wants to hit on them. It's like, dude, I'm not trying to hit on you. I'm either trying to make money off you because you're at my club,
Right.
Or I need to ask for directions or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, back to the question, if I was like actually into a chick,
Yeah.
and she didn't want to commit, I'd probably want to give it like a few months. Well, yeah, and then from there she'll go put into the category where she's like, all right, you're just to fucking have fun
Yeah.
with. You're nothing longer than this.
Well, the only reason is like, yeah, I get that, right? Like, I understand where everybody's coming from. Like,
Yeah.
of course. Why the fuck are it's not? This question is really not for a dude.
Yeah.
it's more for a chick. But like, I'm right there with you, bro. Like, I'd probably give her a couple, like a month or two, and just be like, all right, this chick ain't serious. I'm out.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not gonna waste my time and energy with something that want to grow with me, you know?
Right. But like, what I'm saying is, because that brought up a point, is like, how come nobody like really wants to build like a relationship anymore?
I don't know.
It's weird, man. Like, I still like the whole relationship factor because I'm a
Yeah.
relationship kind of guy, right? But it just feels like because of all this social media shit and like this entitlement to whatever it is.
like, people want to do something like there's a reason why they say teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
You know, like when you have a partner that you can grow with,
Yeah.
you can grow a lot faster
Fuck
than
yeah.
by yourself, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, you know, how many resources do each one of us have? Right. And then we go together. How many more resources do we have? You know,
Exactly.
and same with females. Like, you know how much like doors a female can open for a man?
Yeah,
Just
and
because,
vice versa.
And vice versa. You know, like, I mean, like your situation, like,
Yeah, I
if you were
also-
by yourself, go talk to the two girls, like, it probably would have been shut down, even if you're trying to ask them like
Yeah.
a simple question. But because you had your girlfriend,
Yeah.
the door was a little bit more open, you know? And then it's
Nah, I still open those goddamn doors by myself.
because you a man.
Yeah, I ain't no bitch.
What do you guys think about the subject on like dating apps and what that's done to dating?
Guys
today?
killed it.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like
Yeah.
maybe that attributes to some of the.
Yeah, it's well. They said about I think fuck, what was it? 80% of couples now meet on dating apps. 80%, dog.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Dude,
there's
that means 8 out of 10 fucking couples meet on a dating app. That's insane to me.
yeah.
And it's funny because is it that? I think it might have been a little bit low, like maybe 60% or some shit like that.
It was a majority though.
Yeah.
Majority of relationships are met online.
Because I know the other fact is that most women think men are unattractive. About 80% of men are actually unattractive. That's a statistic. 80%.
And not only that, but like, what's the
No,
percentage of actual men getting like swiped on and getting accepted and all that
Like a
stuff?
fucking 1%.
Yeah, there's like a small percentage of men that are actually getting dates off these Tinder websites, and the majority of the guys, I mean, majority of dating apps are majority male audience that's on it.
Yeah.
Male users compared to female users, and the female users are almost like what you said, 1% selecting like the 1% of the guys, and then it gets even lower to like the second percentile of like the second group that gets accepted. That's like more than the but majority of guys aren't getting accepted on dating apps.
Well, you know the biggest dating app is, right? Facebook.
I thought it was Instagram.
Really?
Well, Facebook owns Instagram, so
Oh, yeah,
it's still
true.
a place. But Facebook legitimately has a dating like.
Yeah, they do. And they keep fucking like the pop-up keeps popping. Find locals in your area.
I wouldn't know that. I didn't even have my Facebook.
Yeah,
I had to make a new one.
Oh, really? What happened? You just got rid of it or what?
It was funny because you brought up the Laker game. We're getting the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
That day, I got free tickets from Rudy Gobert.
Okay.
And I went with him and his main trainer, and I took pictures that day with him, and then I posted it. And
Is that the dude that's like a mountain?
Yeah, he's like 7'1". He was like a 3-time defensive.
Yeah, he was the
player.
one like that was scoring on everybody that game, right?
I think that game he didn't even play.
He didn't play that game.
I think that was maybe that was. I don't even think.
Was that tall French dude, like that huge French? You know what I'm talking about? That's on the Timberwolves. He's like
That's Rudy Gobert.
Is that him?
I don't think he was. Maybe because the preseason game, I remember he didn't play because he was. Yeah.
I don't know. I saw him playing, so maybe we were at the same game.
Okay, so maybe he wasn't playing that game, but I remember that was the game I went to, and I posted a picture with him. And there's some real haters out there. Somebody reported my page on Facebook saying I did some like heinous sexual something.
What?
Because I posted a picture of me in this, and somebody was hating on it, so they reported my Facebook page. And because I don't even use Facebook like that, right? Whatever I post on my Instagram, it automatically kind of goes to Facebook. So that alone tells you I'm not doing anything on there, right? And then so somebody reported that, and because whatever they said,
You never appealed it?
no, so it has shut down my IG, and I even disputed it. And once you dispute it, if it comes back and they don't open it back up, then you're never gonna get it back.
Wow.
And I'm like, and I disputed, and they still didn't open it or return it. It didn't make sense because like if you guys clearly can go on my page and see that nothing was happening, it was just a picture of somebody's clearly hating. Like that really I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like they're not gonna even dig into it, and they closed all that. So my social media, Facebook, Instagram, all got deleted.
Damn.
That's just whack.
Yeah, the network that I had there, a lot of the important people I didn't meet. It was like, man, all that it affected business. It was. I don't use social media like that really, but like I need to use it for business, right? So I remember that. So I had to make a new page on Instagram,
Yeah, you gotta rebuild everything.
Yeah, so that's where.
Yeah, it's crazy how like social media now, it's got so much power
Oh, it's crazy.
that it can literally ruin somebody's life.
You know what fucking annoys me about it?
What?
The fact that like you see some of these like posts from these chicks and shit. It's like so thirst trapping and like everything showing. But then we post something about just talking about someone doing some shit, not even showing anything.
Yeah.
And ours gets appealed or it gets taken down. I mean, it's like what the fuck? This chick's literally, you can literally see her nipple through her fucking bra. Like the fuck? Like that's nudity right there.
Yeah.
The day and age, though. I mean, it's more accepting, I guess, these days, huh?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Man. That shit's like it's just dumb, But on a side note, I see some of the pictures that he takes. Like you're 6'3", right? Or 6'2", like 6'2", 6'3". Dude, I see some of the pictures he's posting of the people he's training. Dude, they're fucking giants. They look short. He looks short
Like a
compared to
dwarf next
them.
to Rudy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Like they're like literally like a whole foot taller than him. I'm like, Jesus, bro, I know you're tall, but these guys are like what 7 something? Like what the
Well,
fuck?
they're genetic
Awesome.
freaks.
Yeah, but it's just fucking wild because like I'll be seeing the picture, I'm like, hey, there's Brian. Then who's the fucking giant above him? Like I have to look up to him. These other guys, I'm like, god damn.
No, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like when that whole thing comes down to it at the end of the day, it's the genetic factors of like that makes the differences in winning a sport. Because you're not gonna see like a whole league of fucking guys that are 5'7" playing basketball, right? Like that's not gonna make sense.
Yeah.
But if you get like just a little bit advantages in life, you got to maximize on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
And it's crazy. Is it true that taller guys are usually more clumsy? Like they have to just learn how to like
I guess
balance themselves?
How tall? Because I mean, like when you're that tall, for example, like he's 7'1", Rudy, for example, like he's like pretty darn coordinated, and his trainer especially like specifically helps with those type of things. He's like a neuroscience guy as well as a basketball trainer. So like I know he's helped him a lot, and so he's like super coordinated, right? But I've seen like guys who are like maybe even just 6, even shorter a little bit, like 6'10", but they got to be a certain height. I feel like after like 6'8" or 6'9", people start getting a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, uncoordinated.
Yeah, so it takes a certain, like you really got to hone in. You got to, train those things and develop people. And
So he's 7'1"?
it's like 7'1", 7'2".
So how tall is Shaq?
Shaq was 7'1".
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and he was like what in his prime, like 350 pounds. Like
Yeah, he was a big dude.
the biggest. He was the most dominant player we've ever seen.
Fucking massive, dude.
Fucking
Physically,
crazy.
yeah.
And he's such a fucking funny dude.
Yeah, and he's a great actor. He's so talented,
Dude, he is, man. It's fucking crazy.
He's starting to lean out too now. He's starting to get shredded and shit. Yeah, that's
I
freaking
love Shaq.
crazy.
He's funny.
Fucking crazy, man. The opportunities that like present themselves when you're like famous and got money.
Oh man, it's crazy though, because like when you're rich and famous, like you get more stuff for free. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah, for exposure and shit like that. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like Must be good. Must be nice.
All right, let's go get back to this question. So, if your partner makes twice as much money as you, should you still split the rent? Seabass, go, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're both living there, I think it's fair. You know, or have some type of deal that, like, you know, where you work it out. Like, all right, you pay rent, I'll buy groceries. You know, so like somewhat evens out. You know, like put in something. Don't just fucking take and you know, like live there. You know, I think.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like all these like alpha male answers. Like, no, you should pay for everything.
Yeah.
Because you're the man. And because if you're paying for it all, then fuck it.
I mean, I get
if
you're making a lot of money, like if you're making fucking shit ton of money, then why not? You know, like it doesn't fucking matter. But if you're making like an average person's paycheck, like 30,000, you know, and she's making like 60, still split it. You know, I mean, it's not like she's fucking multimillionaire and you're not and a multimillionaire or something like that. You know, if you guys are both multimillionaires, and I don't know how, whatever you guys want to do. You guys have more money than I can fucking think of.
I think at that point though, you have your financial structure kind of figured out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like rent.
Yeah, rent was this.
We'll just buy this whole community.
But I mean, you know, like I get where, like, you know, these guys are talking masculine, like, yeah, if you're making, you know, multiple six figures and shit like that, yeah, go for it, pay for it, like the fuck, yeah, you do your thing as a job. But if you're not making that much, I think it's fair to split the fucking bills.
Have
you
a
know,
conversation.
You know, don't make her pay for everything. You know, because in this situation, you say you're significant other, so the woman would be making more than me,
right?
You know, so I wouldn't make her pay for everything. Like the fuck, I'm no fucking like leech.
I don't know, man. See, I have like a problem with that because like I think like because we're in the real estate industry, I've seen that like there's so many people who like fall out in a relationship and stuff like that. And there's always like, you know, oh, she gets this. Oh, it's 50-50. I help you pay for this. Like blah, blah. It should be split. Right. So in a way, it's almost like power. Like whoever pays majority of the bills has the rules. And if she's contributing, it becomes community partner. Right. Which means like it's a split. So technically you're going to have to figure that shit out. Let's say I'm married and I have a wife that also helps me with the bills, right? Or actually, you don't even have to be married. You can technically be like a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship and pay for the mortgage, right, on this house. As if she's contributing to the fucking rent, she is now part of that community property. That's just how the rules are. I think California is the same that way.
I mean, I agree with that. If you're splitting it half, like in the middle or whatever, then, you know, they have the right to have power over some of it, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're paying for everything, then...
But how do you kick a bitch out if fucking it comes down to that? Like, how?
If I was in that situation, I probably would just leave. Like, you can have it. Oh, fuck it, you know?
Damn.
Yeah. But that's why I wouldn't.
That's such a boss move.
Yeah. That's why
you can have it all start all over again. Fuck no.
No, but it's like, all right, let's just, if I'm going to buy a house, I'm not buying with her. I'm going to buy it for myself so I can pay. And then she wants to help me pay rent, or she wants to pay some rent to live here, then go for it, you know? But but that house is mine though, because I bought on it. But if we're going like renting a place, like I had to go rent something and then we're sharing the rent or whatever, then I'll be like, yeah, you can have it. I don't give a fuck. You can just pay all the rent. I'm dipping out. I'm going to go rent someplace else. But if I bought it, oh, hell no, that's my shit. Yeah.
What about you, bro? If your partner makes more money, twice as much, should you split the rent 50-50?
Man. I mean, I guess I kind of somewhat, I feel what Sebastian's saying. But yeah, I mean, never thought about that.
Here's another question. Would you feel uncomfortable if your significant other made more than you? Like double more than you?
No.
You'd be okay with that?
I mean, yeah.
Would you feel like less masculine? What if she was like, let me pay for everything? No, you don't have to do nothing. I'm going to pay for everything.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Let me be your sugar mama.
And she takes you in the room and she fucks you in the ass.
Oh, man.
She's like, I pay for this shit. It's mine. Like,
yeah. You know, that's actually one reason I can't do a sugar mama, because I tried. And there was one point where she like started giving me commands like, go do this. I'm like, bitch, you don't fucking owe me.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Like, what the fuck's your problem? Don't tell me to fucking give a lap dance to this person if I don't want to. Give me my fucking money first. You know, I'm not doing this shit for free. The fuck?
What?
Yeah, we're at a club and she came over, and then it was like one of those like things that just irked me, and I was like, yeah, I'm done talking to you. But like she was like, she'll pay for shit and whatever, and I was like, all right. I was younger too.
Yeah.
And I remember this. Yeah, she was older, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, just pay for it. I don't give a fuck, free shit, you know. But then like it was just one point where she came to the club and she's like, give her a dance right now. I'm like, I got a line of girls. I'm not going to skip them out just for you because I know you. The fuck, I'm going to do this dance. She's like, no, do it right now. I'm like, nah, You don't owe me, okay? I just walked off.
And that was the last you heard.
Yeah, that's the last I heard from her. But it's like, yeah, that shit would irk me. I don't like having that, like someone have a power trip on me.
Yeah, especially a woman.
Yeah.
I can't. It's like, you are not my fucking mom.
Yeah, exactly. My mom's the only one can do that, and I still get irked.
Yeah.
But I just don't say shit because she's my mom, you know?
Yeah.
I can never be in a relationship like that.
No, that shit's fucking whack.
Like in a relationship with like a sugar mama, or like somebody who has like a power trip on you.
Definitely the power trip.
Yeah.
I mean, sugar. I never had a sugar mama, so I don't know, but.
I'd like to find out.
Look into, I guess.
Yeah, man. Nah, but yeah, I get you, man. I can't. The power trip shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm all about just being fair, you know. But if you're gonna start having a power trip, then fuck that shit. The fuck, you don't owe me. Like I don't.
Karate chopper.
Yeah, like the fuck.
Hiya!
That's what's like. Peace out.
No, fuck that. I'm gonna just make millions. I ain't gotta worry about none of this.
True.
Billion.
Yeah.
True.
Quadrillion.
Billionaire mindset. Oh, locked in, baby. You guys can check me out on my Instagram at hoopexpansion_. I have also TikTok, which is just hoop expansion. So appreciate you guys tuning in and check me out on there.
And if you got some basketball questions or things that you need tips on, hit him up.
Please feel free.
Yeah,
Got
get
you
that
guys.
fucking coaching.
He's the
in, dude.
GOAT.